You fucking loser!
Boom! We are off with another episode of Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alan Snyder, here with my boy, the Rebbe, Zach Elias. What's up, buddy?
I cannot believe we both prop comedies at the same time. Like two menzies synced up. Even mine are all fakakta, mine are fatutzt. I look like the word I'm not allowed to use.
Booze Your Day, the podcast. Tuesdays, we do it live. Saturdays, we post it later. I had a thing this past weekend. So we're coming at this a little delayed, but nevertheless.
Anyone watching, that was not planned. We're just those idiots.
Nobody knows or cares, but none of this is ever planned, which is the best part.
Minimal.
I still don't have my voice back. It may be laryngitis. It may be the vid.
Oh, I couldn't speak all Monday. I was done. And it wasn't just from yelling at Granella at the desk in the preferred lounge. Me and she had at it.
Oh my
she
God.
And I.
Terrible.
No Sotros had at it.
People who are watching this episode, thanks for watching. Share it on all your platforms. Tell a friend. We have a great show planned for today. Zach, you were so well behaved with everything at the wedding. I'm going to let you do today's episode 165. What are we calling this one?
Mawwidge. Mawwidge is what brings us together today.
I was petrified you were going to do that. Petrified.
I didn't, but I had to get all the mail-ins out of my system on the golf course.
Terrible. Zach.
Because like half of Jenna's putts had me doing that.
Before we get into today's episode, why don't you tell everybody what you are drinking?
I'm not overly creative because I've still got some left over. So I am drinking, because I'm sure it'll be a longie today, Dose Sam Adams, because I no longer have to fit into a wedding dress. So I can get as fat as I want. Let's go. You?
Well, Zach, I no longer have I no longer have a special lady friend. Oh. I got a wife. So Jailbreak Brewing Company is called Hazy IPA. The best is there's a lady that's upside down and there's a little quote bottom, a little bubble that says "Love me."
Yeah, that's rough.
I have no idea. This is 7%
Once you get married,
alcohol.
It's not going upside down for you. Just know that.
So I will release the Kraken, but after I do so, you know what I'm going to do with my beer, which nobody did for most of my trip?
Put it into a pineapple cup?
Putting it into a pineapple. Oh my God.
The instructions clear. I didn't realize what those were for.
Release the Kraken.
It was so unclear. The highlight is that Zoe loves those cups.
Yeah, one of my aunts took one home. She goes, I'm going to use this at my pool. I'm like, it's supposed to be used now.
You didn't make it clear.
So, Zach, we talked a little bit. We went back and forth. How are we going to talk about this? You and I agreed universally my wedding weekend. There were 5 big activities. So what I'm going to do is give them in reverse order, and we'll both
used her watermelon. Lemons are the best.
We'll talk about them as they go. So, Zach, I am going. Do you have any honorable mentions, or do you think we'll get to everything? Why don't we do the honorable stuff at the end, or just other random thoughts? Yeah.
Random thoughts. Yeah.
All right, L'chaim, buddy. Cheers to you. Here's my
up top.
So for me, Zach, not that anything was absolutely horrible, but my 5th best moment, my 5th best activity was the rehearsal dinner. Where did that rank on your list, and what were your thoughts?
Well, don't you tell them in non-alphabetical order what the 5 are so that we can...
Non-alphabetical order, it is boat day, the ceremony, the rehearsal dinner, the wedding reception, and the welcome party. Those are the 5 things the 5 big things that happened. So my number 5 is the rehearsal dinner. Where does that rank on your list, and what were your thoughts?
I would have put that at 3, I think, for me.
Did you not make a list? What do you mean you think? Look at your paper.
I don't have paper. I don't need paper. I've got shtick, but I've got stuff. But
like Obi Minogan?
Yeah, exactly. So that's the 3. And as a sheer narcissist, it ranks higher on my list because it involved me personally. So the things that involve me are the higher ones. So I have that at 3. I also had a fun... I don't really know what I ate. I sort of put everything on, formed a mountain, and just went.
It's called a burrito bowl. A burrito is when it's rolled up. A burrito bowl is when it's all cocked on your plate.
Yeah, except this one looked like one of those Mexican pyramids.
Mexican. Chichen Itza over there.
I'm not allowed to say Mexican, apparently, according to one SJW at the wedding, who gave me an earful in broken English. Nevertheless... And then, I didn't apologize as I'm goblin mode. Like El Goblin down there.
I did.
I know. I was seething that you apologized for me.
Tell everybody the joke for people who weren't paying attention. Now, full disclosure, it was my joke.
It was his joke. I punched up again, but it was his joke. So he said, "Oh, Alan wanted Julia to go to a mikvah beforehand, which is like getting all your pits and bits washed by some Jewess." I said, "But Julia swam in the Mexican water today, so that should kill any impurities or add some. Call it even." This made her go wild. Forget about it. Good Lord. And I didn't even understand why she was so upset. And I thought she was
Mexican, by the way, that girl. She was like, as a Spanish girl.
From where? Queens?
Jersey?
Ugh. Better off being Mexican. That said, I thought she was like kidding, like sort of being a little sassy, and like no, but then I realized she was serious, and then I sort of like wanted to figure out why she cared. And then Rosenberg told me, "You don't need that. You don't deserve that." I said, "I could not care less what she thinks about me."
J-Ro to your help is the best part of my weekend.
He came in like,
we need to rearrange some stuff.
My white knight in Jewish armor.
I guess I'm realizing this right now. The two of you are the most unapologetic assholes in my life.
Yeah, we bonded in the pool. Yeah, we peed on each other.
Do you know that joke? It's not one of my originals, but I love when I'm in the pool, I always turn and I start snapping. And I ask people, why am I doing this? They go, snap to it. And I'm go, no, I'm peeing. If I snap my hands, I'm peeing. And then Zach, I always go, if I start clapping my hands, and people are like, oh, what are you pooping? I'm like,
by the way, come on. You're a middle-aged Jew. Are you ever not snapping in the pool?
The best was the swim up bar. I was just sitting there. It was going in and out at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
It was great.
It's like a photo.
All right. So for me, Zachy, the rehearsal dinner, it was just one of the misses. I will say most people have hit me up and told me how it was one of the best times of their life, which is all I really ever want from people because I can't have fun. But the only complaint I've heard from everybody were the mosquitoes were absolutely brutal.
They didn't
especially that night.
Yeah, they didn't get me that bad. My biggest complaint of that was that Ron Katz is late. He was amazing. Love Ron Katz. Ron and Rita are great. So yes, the biggest issues of the rehearsal dinner is your cheap Amazon microphone that you insisted on buying when there was a phenomenal PA system next door to you, but you wouldn't pony up
for a low cost of $400.
The same low cost as my free round of golf, you fucking hosser. But we'll get so. Nevertheless, it was 8,000 pesos. I almost had a heart attack.
Every gas station we passed, I turn to the guy and I go, $20 for gas, and he looks at me and goes, "It's liters," and I don't know what the conversion is.
Yeah, nobody does. So anyway, the biggest also it was the microphone wasn't overly audible, especially for some of the girls.
The wind didn't help. The microphone wasn't a lot better the next night with the music on the dance floor.
It was. So I also found the crosswind as someone with ADD to be incredibly disconcerting. It blew my papers away. I was all out there. I was fatoutzed. Allison,
we got the whole wedding party on this live right now. This might be the most people we've had live on any of these.
By the way, your sisters and cousins didn't disappoint. They're not nearly as horrible as you told me they were.
Asshole.
I loved Allison. She was great. I wanted to have her and Jenna fight with each other because they're both like 4'6" and below. They killed each other. No, I thought that the rehearsal was fun. It was like the first sort of formal event. Yeah, it was. I've never been to a beach wedding before. It was great to be shoeless and the Hawaiian shirts. Everybody played ball. The speeches, from what I heard, were good.
The lights were really bad. That was one of those things when they told us we must have lights. I was like, all right, cool. And we even upped for better lights. You couldn't see dick out there.
I liked that. I thought it was sort of fun.
Really? Except for when I had to take my flashlight out so everybody could find their domino to go to their seats. So, Zach, the dominoes with people's nicknames on it, that was one of my things that I thought would be fun. And Julia's like, it's kind of tacky. Remember I said there were some...
Both things can be true.
There were some home runs at this wedding, which I was like, oh, really? That? And then there were some big whiffs. The dominoes were a hit. That was
like the dominoes.
That was a rookie contract for a guy we called up from AA and was starting for us. It was great.
Yeah, I like the dominoes. They were good.
You also the best part was my cousin's husband. His initials is James Edwards Thomas Smith. He goes by Jets. The amount of people that came up and go, "Am I Jets?" And I'm like, if you have to ask me, it's not you.
Oh, I thought you mean your cousin's husband. Andrew! If he was out of her sight for 40 seconds, she was all over him like white on rice on a paper plate with a glass of milk, killing him.
The best is their son, who's like 3.5. He also goes, and
you know what people say when he leaves the room? Poor bastard.
Nah, she takes care of him. Now, what were your? So the fire dancers. I thought the fire dancers would be great. The best part was somebody afterwards comes to me and goes, "Did you know there'd be fire dancers?"
Shelby's into it, and
somebody asked me if I knew about the fire dancers, Zach, and I go, "Yeah, I paid for them. I knew they'd be there."
Yeah. They were good.
And my little nephew, I was telling him, no, there's a surprise. Something good's coming. At the end of it, he goes, "Was the fire dancers a surprise or is there something else?" I went,
amazing.
No. It was the fire dancers. He goes,
Which one of those nephews?
The little one, little shit.
Bryson, Carson?
Bryson, the little one.
They're all the same to me.
So for me, though, the worst part for me of the rehearsal was Lauren, who I asked to do the motzi, loved the Queen of Scream. She went out and got a little mini challah and brought it there, and she had me cut it. We did the motzi, and I took a big bite of it. My mouth was the Sahara. It got caught in my throat, and I immediately go, spit the whole thing on the beach. The whole thing. And I just looked up like, all right, now back to this party.
That's a Shonda.
I know. I'm going to pay for that in another life.
Yeah. Which landed? Shonda landed. The mom joke landed. Couldn't get a minion in here. Your mom was dying. Almost fell off her chair. Unbelievably. She liked that.
Anything else about the rehearsal dinner?
No, I just had fun. Like, it's a weird crowd because not everyone knows each other and everybody brought their wags. So, you never, wives, the spouses. So you never know how it's going to go. And everybody, like Jenna said, was incredibly ingratiating, incredibly nice, incredibly easy to talk to. It was an easy crowd.
Do you not realize the two biggest pains at that wedding were you and me?
Oh, I thought you said me and Jenna. Say her name. Say her name.
A common whore.
Woo!
No, she's the best. No, you and I, easily the two biggest pains in the ass in all of Mexico.
And I don't even know who number 3 is.
Rosenberg.
He was very tucked in, very stodgy.
Not by the end of the night.
He's going to loosen up.
All right, Zachy. Number 4 for me, and I'm sorry, was the actual ceremony, the exchanging of vows and the cocktail hour, which I got to ask, how was it? I saw 0 seconds of it.
So that's my one.
Okay, go ahead.
The total narcissistic reason that I could be a showman and I was on stage and I had a microphone. I actually, truth be told, here's my heart, like really honored you guys asked me to do that. Like I really enjoyed it. As goofy as I am, I took it seriously. Like,
you did, and kudos, by the way.
I didn't want to screw that thing up for Julia. I couldn't give 2 shits. But, yes, I went off book a little. Apparently his nickname is Wuzzle, which would just say Dr. Wuzzle down there.
It's Wuzzle. But
sure, that's what
nobody asks why it's Wuzzle, but
no one
okay.
needs to know. Who gives a shit why it's Wuzzle? Don't ask a lot of follow-up questions. And at one point during his vows, which were great, he did mention that a fortune cookie told him to like go for it. And I was able to say, guys, taking marital advice from a fortune cookie, which
killed,
brought the house down. And then there was some dude just like shirtless, gut hanging out, shorts,
way too close. Way too close.
He was like essentially in the wedding. He was a bridesmaid.
So, Zach, to be fair, I wrote a lot of your stuff. I wrote the friends, family, random people of Dreams, Ply, and Harris because I knew there would be people around there, and you calling him out. So, all right, I got to. So, are you sitting down?
Video that you've watched back, like I'd love to see it.
I have some videos, and we're gonna get more. But Zach, are you sitting down because the next day at the pool? I'm sitting there and some random person, we start talking and they go, hold on, were you the chap, because she was British, who got married in the garden with the half-naked guy standing around that the rabbi called out?
The rabbi, yeah.
I was like, yeah, she goes, oh, he was great. He was great. Now.
Who, me or the guy?
A little bit of column A. Oh. Now, I got to say, as far as, so the fortune cookie was dynamite. That was actually probably the funniest thing you said, but my vows.
I'm better off the cuff.
My vows I've listened back to. I don't know if people took them too seriously and didn't want to give me the laughs, or because there was a lot of chuckles, but there was 1 or 2 pauses where it was crickets. I was like, and they were early. It was like 2 of my first 5 were not good. I was like, oh, it's not going to be getting better. Zach, I thought when life gives you avocados, we make guacamole was like the funniest thing I've ever come up with. Perhaps you prefer wasabi and ginger?
Yeah, it was uncomfortably silent up there. Is this thing on? It was.
So Yeah, the whole picture thing was
her
such
vows actually, funny being a male gene and all. They were fine. They were great. Her doing Hebrew, loved it. Incredible.
I have the
really
phonetics written out. It's not pretty.
Nobody knows what she said anyway. No one knows a Hebrew. It doesn't matter what you say. Just try.
No, she did great with that. It wasn't Shauna Tolja, but she did a very great. Her vows were good, and of course today I'm sitting around going, "Oh, I should have said this. I should have said that." And life happens, but the ceremony, it was super hot. I thought the green sunglasses. We didn't plan for that, and then next thing you know, it was like, "Oh no, let's just take."
The sun was in everyone's eyes. They had no choice.
Most people brought their green sunglasses, which was fun. And what were your thoughts? Because I knew about the picture with the drone. Wait till you see the footage of that. It is dope. It's really good.
It's a great picture. Getting that set up was hurting cats that everybody knew it was going to be. Everyone knew it was going to be just almost impossible to make that picture happen. And it took forever. And
it killed a lot of time.
A lot of it was Shelby yelling, Andrew. And I was a foot from her. And every time she did it, I would say it.
And
it was Andrew. And then I would call him back, Andrew, which she found funny once. I did it like 12 times.
I did like that we didn't have to walk back down the aisle, which I always find that to be a little, like, it's just kind of silly. So it was like, all right, show over. We did this. That's good. Zach, I'm moving on.
Hold on. Quick, the cocktail hour.
It was. They started it early, those bastards. They told us.
It was fun. I just being a dick about, I wish there was more of a, like, there was the same thing over and over. I wish there was more of a variety.
Of what?
Food at the cocktail hour.
There were 6 different. There were 6 different things. And they added 2 like the week of. There were 6 different ones. You just didn't get it. But that's every cocktail hour. And I told people, don't fill up. Also, you could have went to a restaurant right there.
I'm not going to a restaurant when someone's bringing it to me. Meanwhile, I was chatting with your father about his credit cards. He showed me all of them. Think they give that kind of plastic to just anybody, huh? But that was that. I had fun. I truly enjoyed.
What were your thoughts on the playlist at the cocktail hour?
I couldn't tell you one song they played.
No. So
the Lion King and Jurassic Park and shit like that, right?
But I really wanted. I've been to weddings where they have a cello and a violin and they're playing Bach, and it's like, oh, I don't care. And I said, Julia, we're doing. I mean, we opened it with Mbop on a string quartet, and it was great.
Was there an actual quartet, or was it on the speaker?
What do you think? Did you see anybody there with a cello?
No, I wanted to see a cello. I wanted to go down to the 96 Bulls music on a string quartet.
I wished I could, but look, Zach, we had an instrument. You turn it sideways.
Your next wedding. Cello. Yeah, School of Rock. Anyway, so your next wedding, we'll do that. But I had a lot of fun. It was a ton of fun, and I really was honored to do it. And I tried my hardest to like keep it straight and fun.
It's the only thing that kept straight that weekend.
You're allowed to say that, but I couldn't.
It's my wedding. I can do whatever I want.
Oh God, the SJW would have killed me. Hamdam Shabai. She would just rip my heart out.
Malin?
Exactly.
All right, Zachy. Number 3 on my list, I'm calling it Boat Day. Now, as we just talked about the music, and I think I've told this story to a bunch of people, Julie and I actually didn't have a lot of problems planning this wedding. Things went really well, except for whenever we had to discuss music, we ended every argument with, you know what? Maybe we just shouldn't even do this. Fine. Amazing. And we went, every argument we had related to this wedding was about the music. So the fact that, and I'll just let you know that the Boat Day music was every song that Julia cut from the wedding. And I had more than 4 people come up to me and go, that playlist, 10 out of 10.
So she cut Bella Ciao from the wedding?
Oh my God, I heard it at the airport. I meant to tell you.
What?
I had no service. I heard it at the airport the next day. Yeah. Oh, Bella Ciao was Julia was sleeping, and I had to do all the making of the playlist. So like the Brian Boitano.
Bella Ciao.
Well, yeah. Me and Samantha are the only 3 people who watch that show.
That's all that needs to be on a boat. We kicked everyone else off.
But the people loved the music, and I even got people who, after the wedding, they were like, "Can you send me the playlist?" And that was great.
Now, my problem is it's boat music, so I didn't want to hear anything other than Motley Crue and Poison. And why don't girls on the passing boats flash anymore? When did that go out of style?
Do you want Jenna flashing them?
Sure. If girls is on the thing, what the fuck do I care? That's business.
No, absolutely. There was no more girls on ours. I did put Poison on there because that's Nothing But a Good Time is up there.
That's a flashing song. And if another boat goes on, yeah, Jenna's got to show the goods. That's how it works in Mexico.
Did you snorkel?
Yes. I'm a strongish swimmer even without the thing. I was one of the ones ahead. I didn't have to get, medevaced out by the Coast Guard Barry Shackman style.
4 people on our boat who they said you need to be a strong swimmer. 4 people had to get assisted.
But one brought their own gear.
But not like, let us help you back onto the boat. We're talking like whistles and throwing stuff.
The thing, like they reel you in like you're a marlin.
Speaking of throwing stuff, Zach, why do people go on boats who get seasick? I know you guys want to be part of something, but if you're a licensed scuba diver, why are you getting seasick on a boat?
He was booting up the whole time. Fish food is what we're calling him. Yeah. Eric, our boy, couldn't handle the chop. Meanwhile, I didn't see a single wave. It was totally plastic. It was like a pontoon boat. It was like nothing.
Honestly, I don't get seasick.
I'm like a baby on boats. I fall asleep right away. Like,
yeah, for me, it does nothing. But the worst part is knowing how big of a jerk face you are. And I look over at my friend, your better friend, who is green, not doing well. His wife is rubbing his back, and you are sitting inches from him. And I just look at you, and I'm thinking, I couldn't believe you weren't poking him in his stomach. And I go, Zach, really nothing? And you immediately show me a picture of him throwing up off the side of the boat.
Yeah, absolutely. Had to be done.
Oh my God, I love that you did that. It was so good.
You mean this guy? That's the guy.
The best is he's doing one of these. Oops. It's like a copper tone pose.
and like, that's nurturing him. What am I going to do to him? What, I'm going to rub his other side of his back? No, thank you.
So while we're out there throwing out Shechianus for the first time you do something.
Do I have to give my ranking? I ranked the boat number 2, by the way. I had a blast that day.
A lot of fun. It was a little long. It was a little long, but it was one of those like, all right, let's.
It was one of those days I didn't have really any complaints other than I found it a tad gauche when they asked for tips. They asked for $10 a man.
Wait, how about we gave them hundreds of dollars so you guys didn't have to, and then people still gave them money?
I had no cash on me because who the hell knew. But I didn't take a credit card, and nevertheless,
we gave them a ton of money.
If you ask for a tip, that's fine. Asking for $10 and making your thing.
Yeah,
I would. If I had cash, I'm going to throw them like $2, $3 for the effort. What do? They drove the boat. That's their job. That's what they get salary for. One guy shot some like juice into my mouth from his schwanz that might have had alcohol in it. Okay, you can get into a couple pesos for the effort. But
so as I was saying, the Shechianu, my niece is 13, maybe and a half. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was Sprite with purple food coloring, but I saw my niece's first shot, I think.
That you know of.
It's true.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I'll be buying her liquor in 2 years.
There you go.
So that was fun. Also,
Orlando's in 5.
Most of my family is willing to admit they are far too cheap when they go on vacations to pay for snorkeling, and they were like, "That was amazing. That was so much fun." I mean, I had bagels in my pocket, and we got out there, and I just let them loose, and Aunt Marlene was screaming at the top of her head.
I thought you were gonna say you had bagels in your pocket because you're just a two-face who steals bagels from restaurants.
Steals. It was all inclusive.
No, it wasn't. I was told. Here we go. I was told free golf from both you and Chad. I get there, golf is $400. I was told if I upgrade my room for God knows how many pesos, here we go. You want it? Here it is. I get a pillow menu. I got a pillow menu. We ordered multiple pillows. None showed up. Each time we ordered with a horseshoe, it didn't show up. I'm hot now. Ugh. Now, I don't even know what these pillows were. The pillows they had were fine for you. But I require a menu of horseshoe pillows and other stuff. Nothing showed up. And we kept pushing the button. Now, also the preferred bar, which was a lovely little lounge. I don't know what I paid for. Each of those scotches, it must have come out to about $80. I didn't have that many.
Wait, what did you pay for? For food?
We paid for the upgrade.
Of booze?
Yeah, it gets you a better scotch selection.
Where?
At the preferred bar.
Did you go to the preferred bar?
Yes, but I didn't have enough scotch to warrant what I paid for. Each one was like $80. a couple nights. Whatever, we had fun.
All right, last thing about the boat day, which I want to just say goes with the boat, the rehearsal dinner, and the wedding. Could we have asked for better weather?
Yes. I don't know. Yeah, it was beautiful.
It was perfect.
It was
like
gorgeous.
The sunsets,
it wasn't
everything.
Too hot.
Because on Tuesday, I was in the pool about an hour before my shuttle, taking shots with a Scotsman, a chick from Philly, who apparently Julia employs her younger brother. Don't get me started on that coincidence.
Even better.
And the skies opened up, And this was like 1 o'clock. And I was thinking to myself, if that was my wedding day, you thought I was bad on my wedding day?
Did you have a plan B?
Well, she's pregnant. She's 5 months pregnant.
That's pretty good, actually.
No, yeah, basically they told us the morning of, I think by 11 or 12, if there's a 30% chance of rain, you have to make a decision. And they show us the plan B, and it was indoors, and it was still nice enough that, honestly, Zach, of all the things I could control, that was not one of them. I made peace with an indoor wedding, and I was totally fine with it. Although, we said to them, we're not paying for this fucking $3,000 tent if we're indoors. She goes, no, but there's a fee because we still had to set it up.
I would have gone nuts.
We asked. They basically said you have to make a decision in the morning, and if you roll the dice and it rains, watch out now.
Me and Granello would have had words. She was the person at the preferred desk who also helped us when our key broke or the lock battery died. And yeah,
sounds ugly.
She wasn't pretty, and it wasn't pretty when I stormed in there, all kinds of feisty. And her answer was, "Well, just like go to the beach and it'll be ready." I go like, I have to go perform a wedding. I can't ruin this for this guy. It was Saturday. You have to get me into my room. I can't do the wedding in my bathing suit, which was a possibility of happening. I went nuts. And like, she just sort of took it, and it worked. Went to the beach, had fun. And
so as Rita pointed out, a lot of people watched them set up that tent. You know what time they started on that tent? Like 8 a.m. just to get it up.
I was out there at like 10 something. And I saw it happening.
Zachy, my number 2 of the weekend is the wedding reception. So this is when we got to the beach the night of the wedding. Where did that rank on your list, and what were your thoughts?
It ranked 4 for me, and not being no disrespect.
Because you weren't a part of it.
No, I wasn't. But that's true. So that ranked 4 for me, and a lot of it had to do with just that it was, I hate to say it, there was a Giant game on. And Giants Eagles. So it really took a lot of people that would have been like,
who?
I was pushed up.
Name one person that would have been on the dance floor that was watching that game. Name one.
I don't know. The Shaqs.
They were looking for a reason to not
George,
dance.
Indiana, me. I would have probably been. I don't know. There were people out there. Like, I don't know. It took away from it. The horror was fun. The horror was nice. It just, I don't know. It was great. I had fun. I loved seeing you play guitar. That was fun.
Did you know or no?
I had no idea you played guitar. Now, there was a lot of
my very good friends were like, I had no idea. I'm like, I've been playing since I'm
you were decent. There was a lot of back chatter that we would have loved to have heard it without the back music, and just get you go at it. Just you do your slash.
I can do it, although one of Julia's friends who manages a famous band tuned my guitar. I think he put me sharp. Because I tuned it, and then a lot of it was not good. But honestly, I'm more than happy to play that in front of you. First off, I have a Tiger. You could play. I could teach you that in about an hour. That's a very easy one. So the guitar, I was curious if you even knew about that. Now,
I had no idea.
What were your thoughts on the dance floor itself?
I liked the floor. I was very nervous, and I didn't do a ton of dancing, that I was going to get cut on the end because it was a little choppy. It wasn't buried proper. It's very Jewish of me. Now, being that I have tactile ADD, I tried to hurt myself on it to see how it was. Because like a thumbtack on your finger.
Oh,
I hurt myself. But I wanted to sort of see what my pain threshold, a little bit of the metal edge was.
Zach, every time I go to a dinner and the waiter goes, "Be careful, the plate is hot."
Immediately. I need to know what his definition of hot is. And they always look at you like, what are you, a fucking idiot? And yeah, I guess I am.
So the dance floor was one of those extras that I just went, that is worth the money. That, again, the microphone at the rehearsal dinner, it didn't do anything for me. The people who couldn't hear the speech, they didn't care anyways. But the dance floor, I thought was awesome. And even the other upgrade, which I thought may have made the night, was the fireworks during the first dance.
Yeah, those were cool.
Those were
fireworks. I think it was just like sparklers.
Cold fireworks is what they're called.
Ooh. I could have done without seeing you and your boys in their MeUndies.
Oh, that's a thing. Did you know about that or no?
No, that's not a thing.
Every wedding we go to,
you just think it's a thing because someone once told you guys it's a thing.
The amount of wedding pictures that I've ruined because I'll take my finger and put it through the hole, and they take the picture, and then people go, "You ruined our wedding picture." And now looking back, I'm like, I'm so sorry. But what were your thoughts on the first dance? Do you know how hard I worked on that?
Yes, we could see how hard you worked on it. You were okay.
How was Julia?
Fantastic. Stomped the floor. No, you guys were good. It was, very scripted, very rehearsed, but you were smooth.
Yeah, look, there's no way we're going to be able. You know what I wanted to do? I really wanted to do a fake fight scene with Julia, and that got nixed before I finished the period in fight scene. I was like, I think we should do a fish. Like, no. I was like, no, hear me out. She goes, it's not happening.
Is that why you hired Farouk as your MC?
Oh my God! First that guy. Oh my God! What was his name?
I don't know. You look like Farouk, the UFC guy. Now he's Farouk. He used to be like a fighter. Now he's a TV host. Farouk Tareed or something.
I have no idea, but that guy was trying to upstage me at my own wedding.
He was a bit of a showman.
And can I just tell you, I have this as my end notes. He had one of the best burns I've ever had in my life because after the wedding, don't get me wrong, the amount of times he pronounced us Dr. and Mistress Alan Snyder
that.
It was, and then he just went with Mr. He came up to me at the beginning of the thing and we just went over some stuff. He goes, "Are you a doctor or is your name Dr. Snyder?"
Fantastic.
Of all the jokes I've ever heard, never gotten that one before. I thought that was really funny.
You hit Doctor a little hard. I'm not gonna lie.
Me?
Yeah, there was a lot of chatter about it. This fucking guy with Doctor.
That's great. Now
the insecurity that you have to have that guy call you Doctor.
Mr. Snyder's my father. He has a bicep.
And then some.
Also, I thought the food was great at the actual wedding. I mean, I thought the short rib was out of this freaking world, and the fact that. I actually told them we need a bigger dance floor, and they're like, it'll be big enough for everybody. People are on that floor all night. We cater that list to everybody, and there was never a moment where it was like, we are family.
Not catered to me. Too many songs I didn't know. Too much new stuff.
And
Motley Crue on the dance floor. The short lips were good.
Hear me out on my number one time, my number one moment at the wedding. It was the one thing I didn't expect. The welcome party was just supposed to be, come get your bag, do whatever. It turned into one of the highlights of the weekend.
For me, that was 5, but I had a lot of fun. It just wasn't memorable, but that's possibly also because I drank way too much, way too fast, and don't remember much from that night. Now, that said, for me, what were you going to say?
Quote, Timmy Knoll, people go hardest the first night.
Yeah, I went way too hard, way too fast.
So did I, but I was there a day before you.
It caught up for me. And by the way, not for nothing, it was absolutely a blast meeting all, like, the family. Allison, same thing. That's where I met Zach. Yeah, I actually truly enjoyed meeting all these people that were, like, hypothetical to me. Like, I never met them. I just, like, it was fun. Like they say, never meet your heroes. They got to meet their hero. It must have been good for them.
But I got to that balcony about a half hour early and just started staking it out. We didn't reserve that area. We took it over, and it was so much freaking fun.
For the life of me, I have no idea what time I got there and what time I left. But it was a lot of fun.
Honestly, it was like 2 or 3 hours. It wasn't that long.
It was a while. No,
the wind felt great. Eventually, they stopped playing that fakakta music inside, and I could put my music on. It was great.
3 hours with Allison's a long time.
30 minutes with Allison's a long time.
No, she's great. That said, like it was just fun to meet everyone and see everyone again. Like the wives interact. You know, it was a good time.
Now, I took a lot of time and didn't even tell anybody about the letters. Did you even mention the letter I wrote to you? I don't think you ever came up to me and was like, thank you, or nice, or anything, right?
What, do you want a hand job? It was a lovely letter.
Do you know the tears I got?
We actually really got emotional. We thought the letter was beautiful. I just sort of forgot.
And
I didn't do the crossword puzzle because it fell out of the bag. I didn't find it until I was packing. I was so mad. I was like, this guy fucking stiffed me on the crossword puzzle.
Oh, we had extra. You could have mentioned that. But I wrote these letters waking up early in the morning and writing them. The sad thing is I did some editing. It basically was the first thing that came to my mind for the people. And if you don't think I gave certain people a ton of shit, I mean, Stevie's letter, Eat the Rat.
Did it say Eat the Rat in it?
No Eat the Rat, but there were constantly short jokes. Finishing with P.S. You're a midget, and I signed it like constantly for the Queen of Staten Island. I signed off. No offense, quote. No offense. Go fuck yourself. Love, Alan. Which is like
her go-to quote, or is
yeah,
that just
yeah. I usually deserve it when she says it, but like yeah, everybody's that I wrote, it was the first thing that came to my mind, and I just let people know how I felt, except for my parents, because a lot of them felt a little bit like eulogies. I'm not going to get to do, so I was like, I'm going to keep this one pretty brief.
You're not eulogizing them?
No. I am not eulogizing you. Maybe I will.
Bullshit. Let's go.
Do I get a type 5?
Type 3. It's a tough crowd. I'm not crying. You're crying.
I just know that like a lot of them, when I started to write them and I got a little sentimental, I was thinking to myself, this feels a little like my niece and my nephews. I wrote I'm not giving you guys a long letter because you all have bar mitzvahs and or weddings, and you'll get yours. Like I'm gonna
can I officiate those, Allison? I am free.
There's no chance.
I cost absolutely whatever
the
rabbi costs.
Can I do Zoe's?
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
All right, I'll see if you can meet my demands for that. But Zach, I wanted to tell you about all the stuff that we put in these welcome bags. I may have told you a story, but we come off of the plane with boxes on boxes. They pull us over to the side, and immediately I'm thinking, oh my God, if they start going through these, I mean, it was torture. And every pineapple was stuffed with stuff. I'm thinking like, they're going to think it's cocaine. So they go over to me.
I got their first bag off the thing. Never in my life happened. I got pulled over to the thing. It was seething.
So they bring me over and they go, what is in your bag? And in my very limited Spanish, I basically am like, mi novia. I show the ring. We do this. And she goes, oh, you're having a wedding? Oh my God, is all this stuff for your guests? I'm like, it is. And she goes, how much did you spend? Like $200-$300? Like, that's so nice of you. And I'm thinking, yeah. She goes, oh, that's great. Go pay taxes on it over there. It counts as a gift. I was like, you son of a bitch.
By the way, you just cracked the code for drug smuggling. You just have to pretend you're having a wedding.
Oh, no. They also had a dog that came over, and you're not supposed to make friends with that dog, and I knew I had zero drugs on me.
Who's a good boy? Meanwhile, Julia's walking by with 8 pounds of smack.
Up the arse. So for me,
pregnant at a ring, you could smuggle anything you want.
So that was my number one there. And Zach, I just had a couple more things I wanted to go through.
Yeah, that was lower on my list because it wasn't as eventful, but it was an absolute. It might have been the most fun part of actually. It just wasn't like a thing.
For me, it was just the one thing that everything else I had so meticulously planned, and we had good times and bad. That was the one like, wow, that was way better than I thought it was going to go. Where everything else was either the same or slightly less.
No one had anywhere else to be, so we might as well just be there and have fun. It was great.
Yeah, but I did it the night before you got there.
Right?
I already did the welcome party. I already drank all the shit.
Yeah, but I wasn't there. But like Saturday, we all had anywhere better to be during the day, like golf or pool. There's like, that was the only thing that if I'm going to nitpick, complain, and I had a blast, was that a lot of times felt like just weirdo vacation with our weirdo friends while you were off doing like wedding stuff. You and Julia were not omnipresent because it was a big group and you had so many other things to do. Whereas like, I'm just sitting there playing grab ass with, Stevie at the bar or whatever it is. But, and each person was in their own, group and we potted up, but we all sort of commingled. Where if it was like a 20-person wedding, we'd have had no choice but to,
we passed some 20-person weddings and it was ugly. It was,
the people.
It was intimate. Don't get me wrong. The ceremony is very nice. The reception is the most pathetic thing you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
But by the way, great use of omnipresent. I've only ever seen that in a Haggadah.
Well, that's what I do. I quoted the Torah during my before my stripping speech.
Zachy, I got some random things I want to talk about.
There were no just flat out misses. So even like nitpicky fun, like nothing just like really flopped. The closest that came to a flop was maybe. Or like the after party where no one really knew what to do or where to go. While it was fun, it was disjointed. We were watching football. It was kids there. It was BYOB. Your tantas and uncles were upset that they weren't invited. Like on the walk over, I caught an earful of family.
Everybody was invited. I was bombed at that point.
Sure they were.
Listen, after our first dance, I was taking shots at the bar. That was when I stopped giving a you-know-what. Yeah. But I was
pretty sober that night. Thursday, 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila floor. Like, forget it, man. I ate the worm. I was wake up like Jake Taylor with like sombrero on.
So we talked about a lot of good times. I only have one bad, and I'll be nice about it. There were from the time our save the dates went out, there were about 10 things that were quote problems. 7 of them were one person. They will not be getting invited to any future functions, and I'll leave it at that.
No future weddings?
7 times. 7. Including, and I don't give a shit, coming to our room the day after our wedding, having called and woken us up in tears and saying, I'm really sorry. We're like, oh, I'm really sorry. And they go, and I quote, this week was a disaster. And I was like, okay. And I'm just thinking to myself.
For them, like a personal disaster?
Yeah,
or like they were calling your wedding a disaster?
And by the way, that wasn't even the tip of the iceberg. That family member will not be getting invited to anything.
Oh, a family member now. We're narrowing it down.
Sorry, I thought I said that.
No.
The other bad thing, we had some people that couldn't come for different reasons, and
so
life happens.
Allison's not going to your next wedding? Love her. She can go to my next wedding.
One of my buddies who came down for the wedding by himself because his wife just gave birth had to fly home Saturday morning. His kid was hospitalized.
Yeah, that sucks.
I've tried not to hit them up multiple times, just be like, dude, are you okay? Like, and they're like, yeah, everything's okay.
You still owe me for a few days ago.
That was really bad. Zach, you would appreciate this. One of our last nights, we're at the hotel next door. And by the way, my wedding, 110 people that I got to go to a destination. We go to the beach, and there is a function down there that is 4 times the size of my wedding. And I immediately turn to Julie and I go, we are crashing this. I may flip a table. I cannot believe somebody's upstaging me. So we go down for said private event. Somebody cuts us off and goes, oh, we have seats up front. And I'm like, great. They go, who are you with? I went, they go, are you not with CBIB? I'm like, what is that? They go, it's a Canadian broadcast network. This is a private event. And I go, oh, it's like a retreat? They go, yeah. I'm like, oh, no, carry on. Have a great night, guys.
No, I'm not with them. I'm with their American affiliate out of Baltimore.
No, I didn't want to be there. I just couldn't believe there was like 300 people there on the beach the way we did.
But like, forget 300, but even so, at random times, like we went to the beach, just Jen and I, and like, hey, there's the Shackmans, there's the Ron Kent, there's Z. Like, we all just congregated together. It was actually a really nice, easy time. And then there's Julia's bridesmaids who are aloof the whole time. But nevertheless.
Let me pick a bone with you.
Ooh.
You have tantas of mine that you loved?
Well, one, yeah.
You said 2.
Tantas plural?
I have 2 tantas.
Was dynamite. Yeah, she was great.
No, you said I have a text that you have.
Sheila. I said Tanta was great. Sheila and I bonded. Now, she's a bit of a macher, and maybe I am too, or I'm not. We got each other, man. Like, and like, she's 70 or something. She looked at me and said, like, I'm the oldest one. And she goes, how do I look? And my answer to her, still would. She fell down. She was that. Marlene, I love you too. But like, when I said to Sheila, still would, I don't remember who's sitting across from me too. It might have been Shelby. The room, but without hesitation, she'll still what? Dying. So, and by the way, I do owe an apology to Marlene, Shelby, and Samantha. When I arrived, I am the worst arriver to a hotel sober. I come in like a house on fire because I always assume that everyone's already doing the fun thing and I'm late and I missed it. So I need to get there. I am all over the desk clerk. I'm like horrible to them at all times, which is my cross to bear. I was literally White Lotus, like just at Grimalda, Granella. So meanwhile, like I see them, they're 3, they're delightful. Zach, I'm like, Tanta, gotta go. Like blew right by them. Yeah, see, Samantha knows. And mea culpa. I love you 3. You guys are great. I just was, that's how I am. Once I get to the room and change and have my first beer, this is plural in me, because those souls in the room, they don't count. Those went down like water. They're like, you cracked 3 of them and it didn't break a sweat. I calmed the fuck down, but they caught me at literally like, battle station, DEFCON, whatever.
That's it. Yeah, that was me Thursday to.
But I loved them, and I felt bad when I just ripped right by them because they are nice people.
So
that said, and I'm not ranking Tantas, but Sheila and I did bond.
I got to give you 2 funny stories. This episode's getting long. Now, I got this text from Samantha that
perfect.
She was with her parents and my parents at the airport.
See, I knew it. Empty.
And they had their tickets, at least my parents had their tickets printed out. And the person makes an announcement over the system and says, anybody with a mobile ticket, you need to come up to the thing because there's all types of issues. And she also said there was an issue with like cell phones. And my dad holds his ticket up and goes, how do I know if I have a mobile ticket or not? And I got this text and lost it.
Amazing.
That was great. But Zach, for me, the highlight of the week, which I didn't know that this was so funny, only for me, when we first checked in and I dropped this joke no less than 75 times. And when I tell you it landed 74, we would sit and we would talk and we would do this. And it always came up that the person would ask if you want a shot, if you wanted this. And Julia would have to say, actually, I'm pregnant. And I would turn and sell it and go, you are? And by the way, the bartender, the hostess, they would die laughing to the point that we showed up the next day and they're like, hold on, is that the guy who did the thing with the wife? And we got back to our room more than one. Julie's like, can you stop doing that? It's not funny. And I went, oh, no. It's definitely funny. Whether you want me to do it or not is a different story.
And the problem is when it stops getting funny, if you keep doing it, it'll come back. Like Family Guy. It'll come back to being funny. It'll come back around.
Zach, I don't even mean like half the time. I mean every single person was like, oh, every single time, man. It was great.
Oh, you're on Rita's shit list too. And she's Italian. They know the mafia. I love it. Rita was great. Zach, Rita and Jenna bonded too. They're buddies now.
Rita's the best. Rita and Ron, I should be so lucky. They're so great.
They're great.
Zachy, any closing thoughts or are we good?
I think I got to all of the stuff. We went through a lot, but yeah. Oh, by the way, this episode tonight is brought to you by Tecate Light and Zuccheritos cereal. Zuccheritos, that'll get you there. There we are.
Zuccheritos, which it's Spanish for not as good as Frosted Flakes, but got me there. I love cereal.
You just had them there. You showed them to me. I'm like, oh, things at home. It's my go-to, the Zuccheritos. Oh, those were good. Yeah, the sunglasses were a hit.
Boozer Daddy, the podcast. Thanks for listening to tonight's episode. This was the most selfish episode I think we've ever done, but we're doing
Idiot Blues Brothers, by the way.
We got a quick turnaround coming back next week, hopefully on Tuesday. We still need to do that Rolling Stone ranking bullshit. Maybe
you wonder.
Terrible. But everybody who came to the wedding, thank you so much. We had an amazing time. I couldn't have been more appreciative to all my friends, all my family, from the bottom of my heart. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it actually was a really good time. And I went in sour like 3.5 days. We got to fly, you got to schlep. We had a blast. After I blew past Samantha and insulted the rest of them, we actually had a really good time. So enjoy. Mazel tov, you got married. So that happened. Good times.
We out.